Welcome to the Coffee Club, broadcasting live from New York with your host, Felix, and co-host, Dr. Mark. So let's have a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
There is no heaven. There is no hell. There is only this world and its dark reflection. And we do not know in which of the two worlds we are.
We are the Coffee Club. We are live in New York with your host Felix
and Dr. Mark.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Welcome to the show of the week.
And by the way,
the best of the West, the least of the least of the East.
We're not in the West.
Whatever.
However,
we are the least of the East.
For those of you interested, baby Jake is home with mommy, daddy, and big brother Alex.
And they're doing great. My wife is in the seventh cloud. She's in heaven. She's loving it. She's doing great. Everybody's doing great. We're doing great. Donald Trump is doing great. Ben Carson, I'm not too sure about.
Well, Ben Carson is a laid-back sort of guy. You know, when you compare him to the excitement in the voice of Donald Trump, he's Ben Carson. What can I tell you?
Well, you've heard of the bomb that he laid, right?
About the Muslim president?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would have expected that from Trump. But then again, Trump says, I know many Muslims. I have hotels in Dubai, you know?
Well, the thing is, he went right against the Constitution, Ben Carson. Because Ben Carson, the Constitution states, I think it's the Sixth Amendment, you can't discriminate against candidates because of their religion. So, it's a big deal these days.
Well, look, I'm a Democrat. And Democrats are known to point out the flaws in the Republican Party, and we know that the Republican Party talks and nothing is fact-checked. They just say whatever they want to say.
And so do the Democrats. Everybody does it.
Well, but not to the extent that Republicans do.
You do a fact check, and there's not a moment of truth that's coming out of anybody.
Well, people tend to either withhold certain aspects of an agreement to benefit themselves. By that, and I'm an Obama supporter, but Obama did say, if you like your health insurance, your doctors, you can keep them, and that wasn't true. And with the Iran deal,
he said you're going to save $2,500 a year with the Obamacare. That's not true.
But Obamacare is here to stay. What they have to do, if there's another Democratic administration, what they have to do is tweak it a little bit, and that's fine. A lot of things have to be tweaked. But, now when you talk about the Iran deal, supposedly, originally Americans were told that inspectors could come on the site 24/7. Now you're told that that the Iranians need 24 days to prepare.
And then they're going to send their own guys to do the checks and send videos and results of their inspections.
Yeah, but Felix,
some of the stuff.
You and I were in the service. Did you ever get an Article 15?
No.
All right, I got an Article 15 once. All right, it came from my lieutenant. The first step in questioning an Article 15 is you got to go back to the officer who gave it to you. Is they ever going to say they made a mistake? Hello, I'm talking to you.
I'm waiting for your answer. No, they're not going to say.
Right. So it has to go to the next step. As a teacher, when you get a letter put in your file and you want to grieve it, the first person you go back to is the assistant principal who wrote you up. They never say they made a mistake, so then it goes to the principal. Principal generally backs the assistant principal, so it goes to the district office. And then if you get no satisfaction, well, it goes down to the central board. So all you're doing is the same people are checking and looking into your grievance. And unless you have some juice, no one's ever going to say that they made a mistake. It's always you. So, what can I tell you? But that's not what we're here to discuss. So Ben Carson made a mistake. Carly Fiorina, I believe, was wrong in her vehement statements about I defy the president and Hillary Clinton to look at those pictures of the fetuses before they're aborted. They have feet, they're kicking, this, that.
No,
I don't know how truthful that was.
No, they're saying that baby was already aborted and laying down.
Well,
laying down, and the doctor. What? Laying down, and the doctor hit the baby in his heart. The heart started beating, and the baby started kicking. And none of that was true, obviously. It was a story that was relayed to her by one of the people there that worked there. We don't know about
in a court of law, you know what they would call that? They'd call that hearsay.
Yep. But I have fact check here, and they got here Biden pads economic stats. Bush hollow attack Trump. Bush's hollow attack on Trump. Stretching facts of Syrian. The top one was about Hillary and her emails. Hillary, more spin on Clinton emails, which she's saying is not true. What Senator Berry said about hedge fund managers was not totally true. What they said about parental parenthood services is not true. So everybody's basically lying. Stretching the truth, exaggerating, or under-exaggerating.
Depending upon the point they're trying to make.
Exactly. But they're definitely not telling you the truth, and that's pretty interesting. Did you hear about an NBC reporter on the Today Show was interviewing Trump? Channel 4, NBC.
Yeah, NBC.
I forget the woman's name.
No.
And
if it was on a Today Show, it must have been Savannah Guthrie.
No, it was another one.
Okay.
It wasn't Savannah. It was yesterday when... it was yesterday. But anyway, whoever it was put out the poll, and she said, look at the poll, your numbers are starting to drop, blah, 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 blah.
So he must have been all over her for that.
No. So he goes to me, excuse me, what station do you work for? She goes, NBC. He goes, why didn't you put up the poll that NBC just had? They paid for it. She put up a CNN poll instead.
Really?
The NBC poll, Trump was doing much better.
Well, either way, I believe he's lost some points.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Fiorina picked up some points and Carson lost some points.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is she put up a CNN poll, and he goes, you guys just paid for a poll that NBC did. Why don't you put that one up? She goes, he goes, wouldn't it make sense that you would put up your own poll? He goes, maybe it's because my numbers were higher on the other poll. She goes, we have to go to commercial break.
She's got to get her facts straight.
Yeah. Well, listen, again, what they did is they're obviously more liberal than Fox, whatever. So they put out the poll that was the least friendly to Trump, which was CNN. But their own poll they took was much friendlier for Trump.
Well,
so everybody does it.
Listen, the reason that Trump, and we know this, the reason that Trump is resonating so is because he's saying what people are thinking, and he's got the guts to say it. I mean, this is what a lot of people say.
Mm-hmm.
They're fed up with politics in general, and he's not afraid to say that politicians only talk. They never get anything done. I mean, that's one of his favorite lines. He says, I'm a builder, I'm a doer. Okay, that's another one of his favorite lines.
Yeah.
I get things done. I know how to get things done.
I want to make this nation great again.
The Art of the Deal, he keeps pushing his book, The Art of the Deal. Now, all of a sudden, he comes out clutching a Bible.
Well,
when he goes to all of these rallies, he's clutching the New Testament in his hand.
Well, he's religious.
I think he's been talking to Chad.
You heard about that, huh?
I believe so. I think Chad may become his spiritual advisor.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but it's a joke. This whole thing, with Trump. I sort of he's a lot like me. I think he talks before he thinks sometimes. And he gets himself to trouble as I do at the same time.
Well, I was going to say that you and I have had this discussion before, and the bottom line is, unfortunately, when someone does something like that, you never know how hurtful you can be, because sometimes you say things not meaning to say it, and it's said anyway, and but Trump. You see, I honestly think, Felix, that you honestly don't mean to hurt anybody when you say something. Trump, there's a lot of evil in Trump, okay? He really does want to hurt people when he says things. He knows exactly what he's doing. In that respect, he's a perfect politician,
Yeah, I guess you're probably right. He probably is pretty good at... He's not ignorant, put it that way.
Oh, how can he be ignorant? He went to Wharton, the best business school in the country, which he happens to be correct about that. Wharton happens to be one of, if not the best business schools. That, along with Harvard, okay, many other elite schools. I just wonder, like he questions the president's ability to get into Harvard and get scholarships or go to Columbia, all right? If Trump's father didn't have money, I wonder if he could have gotten into Wharton,
Yeah, Wharton is for rich people. As far as I know, you have to have money to go there.
Well, to go to schools like that, you have to have money anyway, or else you have to have a lot of scholarship funds.
Yeah, you have to be really an excellent
I mean,
student.
let's, one thing I will say about Trump, yes, he came from money, but what he did was he took his father's billions and he made them bigger.
Yeah, he took his father's millions and made them into billions.
Well, his father had billions, I believe. But the bottom line is, I don't think Carly Fiorina was too far from wrong, I mean, it's a matter of, how much have you lost? And then, of course, you have Chris Christie, who chimed in with a very smart line, saying, I don't think the 55-year-old machinist out there who can't find work or mechanic really cares how much money Carly Fiorina or Donald Trump lost. Okay? And that's true.